alegría, pero se fue para nutrir y cruzó para el otro lado. Leticia bajo niebla, ella sí se puede tomar.
Right from the first year, just gotten this wonderful feedback, especially from young people, about what an important experience it is for them to have gone to Xicotepec, how it changed the way they saw their own family, their own home, their own school, their own community. And, that's the reason they wanted youth involved, to make better global citizens out of them, so that they'll appreciate what they have, that they've never come for credit before. And also so that they get exposed to, I guess what I call the rewards of service. It feels good when you help somebody. This all goes back to Gary Pace's year as district governor in District 6000. And before he became district governor, he was thinking about some kind of special project he wanted to do in his year. They wanted it to be hands-on in another country. They wanted to make sure it involved youth from Iowa. They wanted to start a project that would go on for a long time, and there would be some kind of continuing relationship so that as the relationship strengthened, you could leverage that into just more effectiveness. It was one of those opportunities I'd kind of been looking for. So we spent, I suppose, 4 or 5 days with the Rotarians there in Xicotepec, and we saw a lot of the projects that they had worked on in the past, and our challenge was to come back and figure out how we could, where we fit into that picture. How could we support those projects, in what way? And we have a very, very strong relationship with them now. But Jose Luis, the guy who was president when we were there, he told me in October that when we'd left in February, when the Discovery Grant team had left Xicotepec, he said to himself, "We'll never see them again." Kind of comes a point where you gotta stop talking and start doing something. Mm-hmm. When they first decided we want youth involved, that's the reason they wanted youth involved, to make better global citizens out of them. There have been engineering students that have come every single year to Xicotepec, so that's good, but they've never come for credit before. And this year they're coming for credit.
I'm Craig Just, and I work here in the College of Engineering at the University of Iowa. In my research life, I do work on water quality issues here in the Midwest, and I've been going to Xicotepec, Mexico since spring break of 2003. I've noticed that my expectations are much higher than in the past too, because this is the first year that we've had a 2-credit hour course associated with going to spring break. For the first time, we're able now to help install a system, design a system, and then have people with capacity in Xicotepec that we know and we trust to then maintain that system after we leave. It's truly a partnership versus, oh, we know everything, we're going to give you the knowledge and the equipment and then you'll be better. It's like, no, we have a lot to learn from you as well.
My name is Hazel Siba. I'm the Assistant Dean for Curriculum and Assessment. The idea of bringing students not just into community engagement, but to expand that into the larger community, the global community, through Rotary's Xicotepec was very intriguing, and really pretty compelling, because through the course that we're all teaching, there is substantial discipline-specific content that the students are getting, but then there also is this wonderful opportunity to take that content into a community. Just the very simple once a year, twice a year treatment with a very safe deworming agent, and it's also a very inexpensive drug. This is part of our supply that we're taking down to Xicotepec this year, and we're also going to do teeth fluoridation for all the children that receive the albendazole. They have gotten to the point where the project, the trip, the things that they're working on are theirs. It's really satisfying. It's just, there's no other way to describe it than to see that happen as being very satisfying.
Is there anybody missing? If you're missing, please raise your hand.
That's it. There we are at Xicotepec.
I'm carrying more of her darn stuff off a plane.
I can't stop eating spicy food. So when I saw this bowl of pureed chilies, I want to eat it like soup. Right here we have the station where we're going to have the child step on the scale. They will then have their name recorded, their weight recorded, their birthday recorded. We will then give them a dose of albendazole, which is the medication we brought with us to treat parasites. They will get a stamp to denote that they have received their medication. We'll then make sure that they are chewing up the medication, and we'll give them a glass of water to try to swish around in their mouth so that they don't have any of that medication left in their teeth before we send them to fluoride.
We got 4 or 5 stations set up over here for the fluoride treatments, and that has to be done last. So as soon as they finish up with the brushing of the teeth, they'll go to taking the tablet, and then it's on to this part.
This way.
Ok, todos. Sabemos cómo.
I am a second-year pharmacy student. Ultimately, I'd love to work for the CDC, doing work in infectious disease. Looking forward to actually seeing how I am able to interact with people who I don't speak a common language with. Seeing how I'm able to get across the things I need to and also get from people the information I need. The World Health Organization has put it out there that, especially in developing countries, it's pretty prevalent for children and adults to have these parasite infestations in their GI system. In the United States, the problem obviously does exist, but to a much smaller scale. Our goal is to do 3,000 now with a variety of different schools, and then also leave enough medication and train enough people to do another 3,000 people in 6 months. But also dentistry related, we're doing fluoride treatments, so we're also in charge of that. We have a really good group who's willing to take a lot of initiative and work through problems when they come along. They're all so well-mannered, and they always smile when you tell them they have pretty teeth. So can't really beat that. We're encouraged to take extra courses that better round our education in the direction that we want to go in the future. So it wasn't required, but seeing that this course would obviously incorporate both pharmacy and public health just seemed like a great opportunity, and we're able to work with faculty that we're familiar with.
4 or 5 of those.
problem is that
They don't speak English, but they speak good Spanish.
Yeah.
They'd be really good people to help us move the kids
Here.
from station
Her
to
name is
station.
Shawn. I am a second-year pharmacy and public health student. I'm getting my doctorate of pharmacy and my master's of public health. I originally got involved because our PharmD MPH advisor is one of the pharmacists going on the trip, and my ears perked right up and having the opportunity to actually go down and have an impact. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien? I've not been out of the country, and I'm just so excited to go to see another way of life.
Shawn was teaching Spanish, or teaching English and learning Spanish.
They were teaching me a lot. I was teaching them a little.
¿Cómo se dice en inglés qué?
We're going down and administering albendazole to 3,000 children. We're also doing a fluoridation treatment of hopefully the same 3,000.
We would like to know how these people do it. They're just wonderful. They're just wonderful.
It's been amazing, the relationship that has been built between the Rotarians here and the Rotarians down in Xicotepec.
Did you see that awful movie King Kong? In the new one, there's a guy on the film crew, and he's filming and filming and filming, and then he gets eaten by a dinosaur, and Jack Black takes the camera with him and finishes the film in honor of the original cameraman. I would do that for you. I would.
Habría sido 5 años atrás, tal vez se encontraba mucho eso de que no le hables de esto a mis hijos.
Well, I said I could ride from the harness of our gold. Here come the tears, but like always, I let them go.
I'm Ishita. I'm Susie. We're on the right team through the University of Iowa. We worked on a variety of different projects. We helped out with the pharmacy team, going to schools.
Let's fluoride some teeth.
Dye cavities.
We had, before we came, we didn't really have a project. We sort of had to develop it as we went along. We ended up working a lot with Susan Murthy, who is a social work professor, and she's down here this year to kind of scout out possible projects for some of her students in the years to come, more in the direction of social work than journalism.
That's kind of also where our interests lie. And
Yeah.
we ended up working at a women's clinic and producing some posters to put up around town with information on cervical cancer and getting tested. And then we made a pamphlet as well.
It was all in Spanish, which was a challenge for both of us because I don't speak any Spanish, and Susie understands some and can read some, which was really helpful.
I came and put the poster up, and then I put it up with Marita, and Ashita and I thought it might need a little bit more tape, so we came to add more. And there was actually an elderly woman sitting here reading the sign already. Okay, the inner wheel, as we understand it, is basically a lot of the wives of Rotary Club members.
Because in Mexico, Rotary Club is strictly for men, and so Inner Wheel is sort of like the sister organization, and every year they organize this with the Red Cross.
Red Cross, yep. It's still going on right now for the second day, but the first day we had 125 women that came. And in all, I think they were only anticipating about 100 over the 2 days.
Right.
So far it's been really successful, and we talked to a few women who had to walk up to 3 hours to get here. So it's a really long day for them, and it's 200 pesos, which is a lot of money down here. So women made a big sacrifice to come, but a lot of women made it.
I was very impressed with the things they do. They're very...
They do a lot more than perhaps we do in the U.S. And I think one of our goals is to go back to the University of Iowa and talk with different departments about perhaps people who can come down here and do internships, maybe make a website for them or help them apply for grants. Because there are people studying to do this at Iowa who would love to have the opportunity to come down and help them, and they really need the help.
ellas que han recibido el examen pueden decir cómo es para las.
Okay, well, we sure have a lot of great ideas. We don't have any plumbers.
Sure, do you want to close up with this?
Mount it higher and then you don't have any problems at all.
It's like when you own a home and you're doing some type of home improvement project and you go to Lowe's 5 times in one Saturday, we'll be doing that.
I'm Mike Schaefer. I'm a junior in civil and environmental engineering. I've been involved with Engineers for a Sustainable World, and Craig Just is the faculty advisor for it. He's one of the professors that's in charge of the Xicotepec class this year.
That's pretty good water there.
You want to do the bacteria test now?
Engineering is becoming more interdisciplinary. Water and air quality are things that environmental engineers deal a lot with now.
But now that we don't need to go up there, we should just move this fountain one up here. Make it look pretty.
Most engineering courses, some focus on design, but rarely are designs ever implemented.
Mount it higher and then you don't have any problems at all.
We're building a water purification system that will hopefully make it so that the 70 kids at this orphanage and the hospital patients at the Red Cross Center can have clean water, so that, you know, with all the benefits that come with it. When we get down there, there's going to be problems. We're going to run into things that we didn't anticipate. We're going to have to adjust.
There is a situation with the boxes. Turns out that we needed to have some official paperwork from the Mexican government to bring all those donations into country.
That's what real engineering is you know, you make a design and then you have to iterate.
We're dealing with it, you bet.
The system consists of a pressure tank and then a sand filter. Then there's membrane filters, and then there's a UV disinfection system. We're gonna have an inlet feed coming through this hole that they drilled through the ceiling. This valve, this is the pre-filter before we go into the pressurized system. And then it'll come to our pressure tank, force it through a sand filter that'll remove some turbidity. And then it comes up here to another filter with a smaller pore size to get rid of anything that gets through the sand filter, straight to the UV system. And then the UV system here is an inlet outlet of the UV system. It comes over here and then it goes to the spigot that is right inside this window. All the other parts, if they're properly maintained, which is usually minor maintenance, they should work for a long time.
So should we all do the inaugural turning it on? Let's all put our hands on the switch. Here we go. Come on, Arik.
All right.
You can be in too. Okay, we'll do it in Spanish. On the count of 3.
On behalf of everyone.
Uno, dos, tres.
I'm hoping that through this project I will gain some insight into making culturally relevant designs.
Just because it shut off doesn't mean it's not working. It means it's reached pressure, so don't worry about that.
In every country, there are idiosyncrasies and cultural differences that can dictate parameters of your design that growing up in the United States I would probably never think about. And I think that once, hopefully I can begin to think in a new way, and this is, I hope, the start of that, so then it can be applied to wherever I may end up working.
I did this. Saw me.
see all these kids in tattered clothing and teachers without supplies and things like that, and I realize that they're doing the best that they can.
I've been to Xicotepec many times, and I've had a lot of laughs, and I've had a lot of fiestas and a lot of things I've done here. We really accomplished some amazing projects here, and some things that are going to last and are going to impact lives for a long time. So around for me, and I'm just proud of all the students from the University of Iowa that have come here, and all the faculty and staff that have contributed to this event, and it'll stick with me for a long, long time to come.
Last night, on Friday night, we had a huge fiesta with everybody we worked with throughout the week.
Señor Leonel Salgado.
Danced. I was the musical chair champion, and it was a lot of fun.
The whole spirit of service learning, and when we were at one of the schools, a little girl, I told her I liked her jacket, and she went and came back like 2 hours later with a poncho for me. It was amazing just to see the spirit here, and I think that's what I'm going to carry home with me the most.